Yo, what is going on, guys? Matthew V. Haynes here, aka the Clockmaster. Right now I'm going to be talking about some Wonder Woman 2 news that just dropped sometime last night and going into today. Now, before I break down what's going on, guys, make sure to please hit the subscribe button. If you are new, if you end up liking this video and you want to see more stuff like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out my social media links in the description box below. P.O Box information, Patreon as well. Also, I've been mentioning this all weekend, but I've been at the Garden State Comic Fest for Friday through Sunday. So I'm going to be talking, there's a lot of videos dropping concerning the Garden State Comic Fest, a dedicated video, some interviews and stuff like that. It's going to be really cool. So look out for those videos. And if you haven't seen my John Wesley Shipp footage, he had a panel that he did on Sunday afternoon. If you guys want to check that out, make sure to check it out. Link will be right up here. So Wonder Woman 2 is going to be set, according to BatmanNews.com, it's going to be set in the year 1980. Now, Patty Jenkins has not been officially confirmed to direct Wonder Woman 2. There's still some paperwork stuff going on with her and Warner Brothers and everyone else, Jeff Johns. But however, Jeff Johns and her, they're currently writing the story for it right now. They just released officially it will be taking place in 1980. It's going to be during the Cold War era, so she's going to be facing off some members of the Soviet Union apparently. So I want to see how they're going to do that. But the interesting twist about this, and this is a huge spoiler, so if you have not seen the Wonder Woman film as yet, what I'm about to say is a huge spoiler. So just please make sure to just either not listen to this or click it off. But they're going to be finding a way to bring Chris Pine's character Steve Trevor back. Now, if you guys don't know, Wonder Woman, the movie is actually set in the year 1914, between the year 1914, around the First World War. So that is way past anything. Steve Trevor, technically, if he did not die in that plane crash, would have been a really old man. But he clearly blew up in that last scene in the Wonder Woman movie, when he was in the plane and he blew up. So he clearly died there. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how they bring him back. Well, I actually have a few ways, like some theories as ways that they can actually bring Steve Trevor back in 1980. It's going to be interesting, but here's what I got. So as we all know, Wonder Woman does have a lot of relation to Greek mythology and magic and characters like Zeus, Hades, Athena, Greek gods and everything like that. So one major way that the film can bring Steve Trevor back is through magic. It'll have to be some type of weird way, some type of mystical thing that they're doing it, whether he died, someone looked after for his remains and brought him back. I can see them doing a little Winter Soldier thing going on where he comes back, they bring him back, and instead of him being good, maybe I can see the Soviet Union using Steve Trevor as maybe a villain. I can actually see the movie going where this is how I would write it too. I mean, it's kind of cliche, but I can actually see it where Steve Trevor is now working for the Soviet Union, or some member of the Soviet Union decide, they found a way how to bring people back. I don't know if they can contact the gods or whatever, and they get him to come back and they get him to work for him. So that I can see it going in that way. Maybe Ares never really died. Who knows? They can do so many things with that. Now, keep in mind that Wonder Woman is a DC character, of course, and there is the multiverse, and there's a possibility of maybe a doppelganger version of Steve Trevor showing up in this movie. It doesn't necessarily have to be the OG Steve Trevor from World War I. It could be another Steve Trevor from maybe another, somewhere in the multiverse, another Earth. It could be an alternate version of him. I can see them having a good way of introducing the multiverse to the DC films. I'm opposed because this has already been introduced in the shows, for instance, like The Flash. They've already introduced the concept of the multiverse, so that's there. But I can actually see them, bringing in maybe a doppelganger version of Steve Trevor, and it could mess with Diana's head. This looks like the man I love, but it's not him, and I can see that whole dynamic thing going on there. So now this is not necessarily a multiverse thing. This is more or less a cloning thing. I don't know. Well, we know the DCU has some really advanced scientific technology and things like that. So another way they can really bring Steve Trevor back is if they made some type of clone of him, maybe having him as a clone, or maybe sending in a clone. Maybe Steve Trevor found out a way to clone himself during that last fight scene, which doesn't really make any sense to me, but I'm just searching for answers here. Now, it'll be really awesome to see how this movie brings Steve Trevor back into the, because it's 1980. This is going to be, again, a movie way before Batman versus Superman. Now, keep in mind, as the timeline is concerned, you have Wonder Woman, which is the origin film, and then which serves as a prequel for Batman versus Superman, and then, of course, Wonder Woman 2 is going to be set in 1980, which is still before Batman versus Superman, because we can all just assume that Batman versus versus Superman takes place in the year that it came out, or between 2015 and 2016. We can assume that. So we know that it's way before. So keep in mind, all this stuff is leading up to that. I mean, they could have a new love interest. She's gonna have a new crew. I'm pretty sure Charlie, all the other members of the current Wonder Woman film right now, are either gonna be old men or they're gonna die or something like that. It's gonna be it's a long time. So between 1914 and 1980. So it's gonna be really interesting. I really want Patty Jenkins to return for Wonder Woman 2. She did such a fantastic job for the first movie, so I don't think she won't, do just as good in this one. Wonder Woman 2, I think she will do really good, even better. So I hope they can figure out all the contract issues with that, get that all settled in. Whatever Warner Brothers and Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns and all them need to do, get that done so that we can get this film. Because if we can get this film, it'll be really amazing. If we can get Patty Jenkins directing this film, it's going to be even better. So I'm looking forward to in store for what they can do with this. I can definitely see them making a third movie after that, probably wrapping up some things. I was thinking that Wonder Woman 2, because before they announced this, I thought that Wonder Woman 2 would take place after the events of Justice League. So whatever happened in Justice League, we do a little time jump and bring everything back to whatever's going on and continue Wonder Woman's journey in the modern world, or I would say in the current timeline, opposed to having her in the past, or doing the whole prequel thing. So I thought that's what they were going to do initially, but then we find out that she's going to be 1980 Cold War Soviet Union kind of stuff going on. And since it's 1980 as well, I can definitely see a lot of references to the old Linda Carter show in 1970, the late 70s. I can definitely see a lot of references to that, especially more or less with what she did as because in Linda Carter's version of Wonder Woman, she was actually Steve Trevor's secretary, and she, worked for him there and stuff like that. It wasn't Etta. Etta was just, they didn't do the whole Etta thing. She was actually her secretary, his secretary, forgive me. And I can actually see them doing something along those lines, her having a similar job. Taking some elements from the original TV show, which are a real good nod to what was going on back then. In the first movie, they've done such a great job at, giving hints and everything to especially like Superman with Christopher Reeves, a lot of comic book related things, especially things with the lasso, especially things with her family, the Amazons. They focused really well on that. So it's gonna be, I'm just really excited for this to see where they can go. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you are new, man. Let me know your thoughts below. What do you think about Wonder Woman 2 being set in the 1980s during the Soviet, the Cold War era, forgive me, facing off the Soviet Union? You guys let me know in the comment section down below what you think about all that stuff and anything, and maybe any theories you might have as possibly how to bring Steve Trevor back. You guys let me know in the comment section down below. And guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. Clockmaster out.